Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We said last session that there were two things that we are able to look at as far as what would be something that would ignite our interest, something that would bring about a necessity in pursuing, in looking for, in investigating, in commencing our journey in wanting to know about God and about religion. And these two important factors that would, of course, introduce us to the necessity of wanting to prove the existence of the Creator. The first is repelling any kind of possible harm or damage. What we call daf'u darar al-muhtamal. Muhtamal, ihtimal means possible. It's likely. So rationally, what we're going to think is that, well, it's likely that there really is something going on if all anbiya and all awliya and all salihin for hundreds and hundreds of years have been telling us, there's something called heaven and hell, there's something called halal and haram, there's something called good and bad, there's something called God. And then you all of a sudden you say, oh yeah, really? Now let me look into this. Why? Because I don't want to, rationally, I don't want to fall in any kind of probable harm. Do I know that God exists or not? No, I don't know. But I'd rather be on the safe side, as Hajj Hasan said last week. I'd rather be on the safe side, right? So, does this prove God's existence? No, it doesn't. It doesn't prove God's existence, but it does at least prove to you by necessity, by your rational thinking, that you have to start your journey. You have to do something about it. Why? Because you want to stay away from harm's way. That's one way of looking at it. Second way of looking at it is shukr al-mun'im, by you expressing gratitude, by you showing your thankfulness to someone who has done good to you. By nature, we do this in our human interaction with other people. Verbally, we might not say thank you, but in our actions, we are going to express our gratitude to you by being kind, by saying it, whatever we want to do. What happens if someone doesn't show any level of gratitude or kindness to you who has done something good to them? What's the first thing that you're going to say? How selfish, how arrogant, how rude, and all these other things that people usually say about somebody else. What happens if someone gives you life, someone gives you health, someone gives you wealth, all of these other things? You need to say, well, I need to find out who's giving me all of these things. I need to find the benefactor, someone who is giving all of this to me, and say thank you to them. Friday night we mentioned this, didn't we? There's either one of three cases. It's either Mother Nature that gave you life, or your chimpanzee that gave you life, right? If you believe in human revolution, the theory of revolution, right? Revolution, right? Am I right or wrong?
Right, you're right.
Thank you. Of human revolution, of human evolution. Who made that up? Edison, right?
Yeah.
Was it Hasan Edison?
Yeah,
Ibn Khaldun.
Really was.
Ibn Khaldun. Yeah, I know, but I know some people attribute that to him as well. But and Mr. Darwin's came up with this theory, right? And the third is, no, there is a creator, and his name is Yahweh, his name is Khuda, his name is God, his name is ancient Greece. What did they used to call him? Zeus. Right? Doesn't matter what name you want to name it. You want to name it a different name, that's fine.
Is it?
We call him.
It's recorded, so take that out.
Yeah. Doesn't matter what we call him, Zeus. Yeah. That's like the best thing, that is the best fadhiha. Australian Sheikh says God is Zeus. So we call him Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, of course, why is it that we like to refer, and we should refer to him as Allah and not God and not Khuda and not any other name in any other language? Because the word Allah subhanahu, not even ilah, we can use ilah, we can say ilah, but why do we insist on using the word Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Because the word Allah is Jami'ul Sifat. It is the all-encompassing name of all of his attributes, of all of the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number one. And number two, as a word, it cannot be made in the plural sense. And it's beyond gender as well. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you can't say Allahun, you can't say that. Ilah, you can say aliha, God, you can say gods, right? With Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his special name, you can't use it in the plural sense. Number one. Number two, you can't use it in gender form. With God, you can say goddess. With ilah, you can say Ilahe Khanum. But with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you can't say Allah. You can't. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? And that's why there is that extra emphasis that we say that we use the word Allah. Right? And even non-Muslims use the word Allah as well. Christians use the word Allah. So unfortunately, you have these people, these anti-Muslims who try to create some kind of scenario that the Muslim Allah is different to our Christian gods. Arab Jews and Arab Christians, they use the word Allah. So Shukr al-Mun'im. Nisar, start reading.
From where? Okay. Page 4.
It's your responsibility. Page 3, number 1.
We went through that last week.
Read it again.
I say, those of the people of Muhammad.
Where are you going? Number 1, I said.
In addition to agreement, the proof of knowledge.
Number 1, Ya Khayyi.
Is incumbent of two kinds, rational and traditional. The rational proofs are of two. The first is that knowledge guards against the fear which results from differences, and guarding against fear is incumbent, for fear is pain to the soul. Now guarding against pain is possible. Therefore, reason pronounces incumbent the guarding against fear, hence guarding against it is incumbent. Second.
Wait, what did you understand from that?
Nothing.
Alright, so let's use this as a syllogistic argument. So I want on the side, I want you to, I don't know if you have or you haven't, but on the side I want you to write. If you want to write in Arabic, you can write in Arabic. But if you want to write it in English, write it in English. What are we talking about? We're talking about repelling any probable, any possible harm. And in Arabic, the qaida, the law is called dafa al-darar al-muhtamal. Got angry.
It is muhtamil or muhtamal?
Muhtamal. And the second was shukr al-mun'im. Okay, now, here. Fear is pain to the soul. Right? Huh? What? Guarding against pain is possible by reason it is incumbent to guard against fear. Therefore, those 3 dots, that's for the therefore, isn't it? Have you studied that? Therefore, شنو? Guarding against شنو? Against what? Against what?
Guarding.
Guarding, what's that mean? Guarding against fear. F-E-A-R is incumbent.
Are you doing some logic here? We're not logic.
I just said it's a syllogistic. Yes. What was I just about to say? Incumbent, what's incumbent mean? Yeah, wajib. Right? So, now do you understand what this paragraph means?
No.
Come on, man. Yes.
You know how it says that's a rational proof, for instance, God against fear. How can you have fear if you don't believe in hell or God initially?
What are you talking about?
It's a rational.
So, remember what we said. What instigates, what brings about your eagerness to want to learn about God and fear and punishment and hellfire and heaven and all these things? What instigates it? What starts it? What ignites it? What makes you go on start the journey? The fear of possible harm, right? Thousands of people have been telling you, Ya Hasan, Ya Ali, there's God, there's heaven, there's hell, there's punishment. What do you say? What clicks in your mind? You say to yourself, hey, wait a second. If all of these people are telling me that there's something going on, then I need to make sure that I protect myself from probable harm. Do I know that it exists 100%? No, I don't, not yet. But now I'm going to have to start to find out if it does exist or not. Right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, by necessity, by reason, through my common sense, I'm going to say, I want to make sure that I repel and keep harm away from myself. By doing what? By finding out if there is a God that exists and by believing in it. And, of course, I'm going to be safe. What happens on Judgment Day when later on, or when you're in your grave? If there is a God and if there is heaven and hell, then you are safe. Why? Because you guarded yourself. And if there isn't a God and there isn't any heaven or hell, you're also safe. Why? Because you did right in your dunyawi worlds. So you're not going to be missing out on anything. You're just going to be relaxing there, rotting with worms eating your body, and that's it. Right? Right? Do I need to explain it another time?
I still don't fully agree, but because Hajj said what he said last week,
All right. So again, let me make this point very, very clear. Is this proving God's existence? No, it's not. We're just saying what would be a way of you creating that curiosity in wanting to know God's existence. That all these people have been telling you about heaven and hell. So you want to say, okay, well, you know what? I want to stay on the safe side. Let me find out. At least you agree with that, or you still don't, even that To that level, do you agree or you don't agree?
To that level.
To that level you agree, alhamdulillah. You're halfway to Islam then. Okay. Do we need to number one? Okay, carry on number one. So that's good now, Nisar, or all right. Number two, carry on. Number B.
Expression
Number
of
B or
gratitude.
letter B? Number B.
Expression of gratitude to a benefactor is incumbent. But this
Okay, what did we call this qaida? Shukran mun'im. Mun'im.
But this cannot be done unless one knows him.
Yeah, so you want to find out who it is. Is it Mother Nature? Is it Planet of the Apes? Who?
Caesar.
Caesar.
He's the monkey.
Excited there. Carry on.
Now it is incumbent for all rational beings know that failure to express gratitude deserves blame. But it cannot.
What does that mean? So why are you reading it if you don't know what it means? There, let's do it slowly, so we understand what each sentence is. Right now, here it says, "It is incumbent for all rational beings, for all human beings who have common sense, to know that failure to express your gratitude is going to be criticized." If you want to change these words around and use words that I'm using, do so, right? Yeah, and I would have written this in a better way, and you've seen that my English is better. What did I say on Friday? Writer did? What did I say? Writer. So, what did we say? That if you do good to someone and they don't show any kind of gratitude to you, what are you going to say to them? Arrogant, rude, disrespectful, right? So that's what he's saying here. That if someone does good to you and you don't, by reason, by aql, you don't show any level of gratitude, right? Then you're going to be criticized. Blame here means criticized. Yeah, yeah, carry on.
But it cannot be done without recognition.
Yes?
For the expression of gratitude must be of a kind suitable to the condition of the one to be thanked.
Underline 38. So 38 it says shukr al-mun'im, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Right? But it cannot be done without recognition. What does recognition here mean? For you to know who God is, for you to understand who God is through ma'rifah, right? It cannot be done without recognition. So what pushes you towards wanting to know about a God? Shukr al-mun'im. That you need to find out, that you want to find out, right? That you want to find out who gave you life, who gave you oxygen, right? If you say, well, I've already said thanks to my parents, who gave your parents life? Their parents, who gave their parents life? It needs to stop somewhere, right? If you want to say, no, it came from nowhere, what do you mean nowhere? So nowhere and nothing brought about something. Friday night someone said Big Bang. Whatever it may be, whatever argument you might have, it needs to be something, right? Of course, these are all arguments, or these are all good things for you to develop, for you to learn about during the week and read about them. You know, when you have, for example, a friend, a colleague, a classmate who's an atheist, who doesn't believe in this, who doesn't believe in that, you know, engage if they start something. I don't advise you to start something, but if they start something with you as far as a discussion or something is concerned, you're not mutaffi, you have absolutely no idea what's going on. At least you have something to say. This is the problem, really. This is the problem, that the least concern that إحنا المسلمين have, the least concern that us Muslims have is usul ad-din. The most concern that us Muslimin have is parts of furu' ad-din, not everything in furu' ad-din, parts of furu' ad-din. Why? Yani you've left the core of religion and you're clinging onto the peel of religion. That's why it's really bad. It's really bad. If you present a simple question to a random Muslim about their usul ad-din, you find them quickly falling off their balance. Is it because you're gonna have to do a little bit of brain work, and sometimes, unfortunately, a lot of us Muslims we're anti-brain? Allahu A'lam.
Maybe you don't have enough book to read about this, or
No, I think there are a lot of books on different levels as well. But I think my opinion is it's just convenience that unfortunately a lot of people don't like to stimulate their intellect. They don't like to challenge themselves. They prefer laziness and let's take it things simple. And unfortunately also another thing is a lot of people like the qishr, the outside of things. This is ritualistic kind of iman, not deep iman with umq, with deepness. All right, carry on.
That only comes from recognizing him. Otherwise, it is not an expression of gratitude.
For the expression of gratitude must be of a kind suitable to the condition of the one to be thanked, right? So you want to put more effort into someone who you need to be thanking and being grateful to more of, right? Otherwise, it is
An expression of gratitude.
It is not. Yeah. What's wrong, man?
Oh,
Confusing or?
no, it's not confusing. I feel like there might be. I feel like there's a third one.
What is it?
A rational proof.
Of?
Basically, not love of knowledge, but humans always have a innate desire to seek
Instinct.
knowledge. Yeah.
Yeah.
So even a child, when you see something, will pick it up. This is this for. So which that won't fall into these two.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And Imam Ali alayhi salam, he says, Rahimallah imri'in alima min ayn wa fi ayn wa ila ayn. Again, that's another important instinct that we all have as human beings. Very good point that, we want to know, from our human curiosity, we want to find out where we came from. And that should also kind of like instigate us to embark on this journey of finding out where we came from and what we're doing, what's our purpose in life, and what's going to happen when we leave this world. Carry on.
Now the Most High Creator is a benefactor. Therefore, expression of gratitude to him is incumbent.
Okay, so we're saying this, as a musallam, but this is a claim that is yet to be argued, right? We're saying that that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the benefactor that you should be thanking, but we still haven't proven that, haven't we? We haven't proved it yet, right? And therefore, you need to express your gratitude to God, and that is, of course, incumbent. But that's yet to be proven. Therefore,
the recognition of him is incumbent.
So because you need to thank your God, you need to know who your God is. In order for you to thank your Creator, you have to get to know who your Creator is. And that is necessary. And since
taklif, the imposition of a task, is necessary on rational ground, as shall appear later, it is incumbent that one know the announcer, mubaligh of it, that is the prophet, and the guardian of it, that is the imam, and the recognition of the return, because taklif requires the necessity of
requital.
requital.
Okay. Now, what's all that mean? This is, of course, saying that you want to know what your duty is, what your taklif is, right? So you know that you have a taklif, you have an individual responsibility, and you want to know what your responsibility is. There is someone who's telling you what your responsibility is. They're conveying that message of what your responsibility is, right? They're informing you of that responsibility. They are doing the tabligh. They are the muballigh, conveyor of the message, right? The propagator of the message of your taklif. What do we call them? Prophets. A prophet, a nabi, is someone who informs you. Naba means information, someone who is informing you, giving you news. Nabi is someone who is informing you of your taklif. Do you not need to find out what the qualities of a nabi is in order for you to make sure that 100% you're following the right prophet? Of course. How about who delegates and takes over the responsibility of the Nabi after the Nabi, in our understanding as Shia Muslims, the Imam? Then when you leave this world and Judgment Day comes, all of us are going to be resurrected. What are the qualities of the Day of Judgment and Resurrection? What do you know about resurrection? How are you able to prove resurrection and things like that? So of course you need to know that. So all of these become incumbent, necessary for you to learn about, right? And that's what is said here. Since taklif is necessary on rational grounds, which we're going to be explaining later on, right? It is also incumbent that you know who's telling you this, the muballigh, the announcer of your taklif, and of course, who's the prophet? And then you have the guardian, or those who succeed the prophet, and that is the imam. And then you want to recognize, you want to understand, on another level, the time of returning back to God, the return, the resurrection, al-ma'ad, from i'ada, from aud, which means to return, right? Here, just on the side, right, resurrection, because maybe you might not think what's return mean, resurrection. Because taklif requires the necessity of requital. Inshallah, the rest we will be reading next week, number 2, inshallah. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.